Welcome to The Guy Doing Things, Episode 1. Today we will be talking about adventures. Before we just dive in directly, I just want to tell you a bit about why I chose the name The Guy Doing Things. It's quite a general name, so it basically entails everything that I'm going to do for the next few months or years. So everything that I feel is worth sharing on a podcast will come onto the episode lists. So the first part, obviously, we're talking about adventures, and maybe next week I'm going to feel like eating a 2-kilogram steak, and there's something that you can learn about that, and then I'll put it on the podcast. So let's take a journey together to see where this is going. This week we might be talking about adventures. Next week we can talk about what I ate last week. I just basically want to have fun with this, and if there's something that I do on my journey or on my way in life and you can learn from it, then that'll also be cool. So that's exactly why I started this podcast, to basically just share some of the things that I love doing, and if you can take something away from that journey, that'll be awesome. Speaking about adventures, I'm going to have a few guests later on, but for now I'm going to share something, that journey I recently took to Cape Town. Me and the family just packed the car, went through to the Karoo to visit some other family there on a farm in the middle of nowhere. It was just crazy to experience that, the way the South African landscape just changes, and the way you can start seeing, you going out of Gauteng into the Northern Cape, seeing the way culture changes, the way language changes and everything, and it's just right here on our front yards. Amazing. It was really cool to visit that. Going down to Cape Town, I can realize now why people call it going overseas. It's a completely different setup there. It's so international, pretty cool. It's a great adventure to take if you can ever go to Cape Town. It's a lovely place, and every time I go there, there's something extra to visit, some place extra I didn't know about. Within an hour, 2 hours drive, you can head up into Barrel, you can go to Stellenbosch. I don't know why I said Barrel, it's so funny, but anyway, that's not the way Cape Townians call it. But yeah, it's crazy to, it's fun to see the way they live, the other half lives, and it's cool to go on a holiday, which is basically 2 hours flight, and you're in a different country, different setup, everything's done on a different level there. It's really cool. I would highly suggest doing a few trips to Cape Town each year, if you're able to do that. That's amazing. It's such a cool place to be at. And now we have one of my good friends, Goobers with me, while we're talking about adventures. Welcome, Goobers.
Hello there.
So, from what I've learned in our short friendship over the past few months, is that you're quite the adventurous guy. How do you define adventure?
Defining adventure is simple. It boils down to one thing. It boils down to how you experience life. It boils down to how you feel about where you go.
So going to the spa can be an adventure for you?
It can. It depends on how you interact with the people.
Great. Okay. No, that's awesome. But not talking about spa adventures. Let's. Is there any recent adventures that you? Yeah, let's go a bit more north. You were on a recent adventure to Mozambique. Can you tell us a bit about that, please?
Okay, well, simple. It's everything you expect and more. It's about finding yourself in a place that you feel lost at first, and then realizing that wherever you go just influences not just how you think about the world, but how you think about yourself and how you see, and the place you see yourself in the world. And Mozambique gave that to me in the sense of it is in the middle of hustle and bustle. It's in the middle of, it's quite close to everything, all the amenities that we're used to. But all of a sudden you find yourself having to tow out vehicles just to get to the area that you need to get to, just to get to your end location. You had to tow out vehicles because there's a one-lane road. I mean, it's ridiculous to think about that. And that kind of teaches you that we kind of get used to having everything at our fingertips and just having access to everything. And then you see these people that are just absolutely fine with it. And you think, how can they be fine with this? And then when you speak to them, you realize that it's not that they're fine with it, it's that they like it. They enjoy it. They love they're content with this. And it's the simple life. It's the absolute simple life. And that's what attracts people to places like Mozambique.
That's crazy. That's so cool. And you speaking about towing out cars, we won't mention any brand names of any cars, but it was cool, the experience you just shared. Just a few more questions before we move on to the other interview. The way you share adventures, you said something the other day that really caught me, and I want you to share it with the people. You said you'd rather spend your money and time on adventures than things. Where did that perspective come in? Was it recent, or was it just always your life motto?
This is something that's always been with me. At the end of the day, we tend to, and I'm going to use an example now. I recently moved from one house to the other, and I threw away so many nitty-gritty little things, possessions that you don't use. And I think to myself, well, I bought this for that amount of money, and I don't have any use for it. But when I go somewhere and I spend money on that, those are memories that I never forget. I will never forget sailing from the south of Malawi or Lake Malawi to the north of Lake Malawi. Yes, the money that was involved, okay, fine, whatever. That's one of the parts of life, and we make our plans to make sure that we have the money to do it. But the experience itself, I won't forget how the outboard fell off the boat and we had no wind and we were sitting ducks for about a day. It was beautiful. At first you're like, oh my goodness, where am I going to go? And then you realize, wait, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
I can literally wait for the wind to take me again. Because I don't know, maybe it's in God's plan that I have to be right there at that specific moment. Yeah. And it was. I saw the most amazing wildlife scenes and experienced it that I'll never forget. And this is roughly 20 years ago.
Wow.
And it's still very vivid in my mind.
Great. And then just second to last question, that was so cool what you just shared. I mean, being right where you are, that's also part of the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment. And just the second to last question, is there any adventures in the upcoming few days that you're going to take, or the few months? And where can people, if they want to see what you are up to, can they follow you on Instagram or whatever? Are you connected socially as well? So that's just a two-part question. But is there something you're looking forward to that in the upcoming few days?
Okay, so very recent, I'm going to Zanzibar.
Wow, that's amazing.
on my own. Well, we're going with family. It's in about 2 weeks.
Great.
That's going to be an awesome trip. But that's going to be one of the I'm going to relax trips. And I know I'm saying I'm going to relax trips, meaning I'm going to be spending the first day in the hotel or wherever we're going. And then by the second day, I'll be bored of that and probably going to the villages.
Yeah.
Anyway. But after that, more important, I think it's Christmas in Kampala.
Great. That's something that we're looking forward to.
We have to.
Yes.
And we're going to Uganda in December, and I cannot wait. And I am somewhat anti-social media, which is terrible to say.
That's good. I mean, if you live the adventure, you're not really experiencing it if you have to take photos. But if there's one or two photos, do you share it?
I do. I have a lovely wife that takes pictures and loves the camera and loves being behind the camera. So we do share this, and I think at the end of the day, what we're planning now is look out for it. The Ginger Beard Man.
Yes.
The Ginger Beard Man is coming up and coming live.
Great.
And we'll be sharing our adventures on the Ginger Beard Man.
Cool. Thank you so much. And Goobers, thank you for your time. Enjoy Zanzibar. And I'm going to say enjoy Kampala. I'll be right there with you. That's going to be amazing. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much for your time.
Cool.
So that was Goobers Smits on adventures. Next up, we have Martin Maria, who recently went to America. And he's just going to tell us a bit about his adventure that side, as well as what he believes adventures are, and just what's some of the upcoming adventures he's going to do. Welcome, Martin.
Thank you for having me. I just would like to say it was a very, very big experience for me to go overseas and see the other cultures. It was pretty overseas, quite expensive because the rand and dollar is a quite big difference there. The next adventure is definitely to the South America. I want to go and see the festival in Rio de Janeiro one day, maybe next year. But I just want to wait and see.
Alright, vir ons Afrikaanse luisteraars, net Martin, wat is vir jou avontuur? Wat klassifiseer jy as 'n avontuur?
Vir my 'n avontuur is definitief iets wat my hart klop, opruk. Definitief, ek hou baie van iets wat my kikker my laat 2 keer dink om dit te doen. Iets wat jy nie baie oor dink nie, net ja sê en dit gaan doen. So enigiets natuur, enigiets mensgemaak. Ek hou van enige ding wat ek nie spyt is oor nie.
Right, so you would say something like Park Acoustics counts as an adventure?
O ja, definitief. 'n festival is ook 'n ding waarvoor ek uitsien. Val nou soos Liefde by die Dam wat ek nou hierdie naweek voor. Ek gaan Liefde by die Dam toe en ek was by Park Acoustics al by elke festival in Suid-Afrika. En dis definitief een van my gunsteling avonture om van te kies, want is lekker. So ja.
Great, thanks. And do you have any advice for people out there who wants to start adventuring? Because do you need a lot of money? Do you need special flip-flops? What do you need to actually go on an adventure?
I just firstly want to say, just do it. Don't think about it. If you want to do it, it will be there and it will be successful.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Martin, and we'll see you around.
Thank you.
And that concludes the first episode of The Guy Doing Things. Once again, this podcast was brought to you by 3L, the adventure brand. Follow us on 3L brand, 3L_brand on Instagram. You can check out our blogs there. We're on Facebook as well. But that was The Guy Doing Things. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, please comment on the sections below. Please let us know. But we'll catch you next time on the flip side. This was The Guy Doing Things. Cheers for now.